My name is BaM, the Liquid Robot, originally BaM. Everyone called me Poppin' Pete, but you know, gotta give respect to the original Poppin' Pete, so everyone started calling me BaM because of my dance style being energetic. This poster here you're looking at is my friend London from the New York City Breakers that we were part of. Started this event and we started to communicate with how to do it, and we got all these old school pioneers that started a trend or inspired many people, and got them together to do this event with battles and graffiti, MCing. We had Curtis Blow, Spider and Glide from the original Dynamic Rockers. We had Wiz the Wiggles, originally of the original Rocksteady crew. And we had all these members, you know, Don Campbell, who started the Lockers right here, Don Campbell, and Fred Reaver and Barry, who were my inspirations, along with Wiggles and a lot of other people. Boogaloo Sam, Poppin' Pete, Skeeter Rabbit. All these people have done a great deal in hip-hop and hip-hop history. So we started that years ago. We had it advertised in the Source. It was great. It was a great experience. Great to start off with New York City Breakers that way. And that kind of just gets a good foot in there to get everything going. Hold it now. This is me in 1982 in Washington Square Park. That's my man Jimmy behind me. Just look at the people. They say that pictures tell 1,000 words. But if you have footage, it's even better, I believe. Anybody that wants to know what went on back in the days, can look at this footage and just study the people, the radio, the style, the way we were dressed. That's my man Cena breaking. That's Jimmy again. Our crew was named General Electric. Originally Crush City Rockers. And this is my man Poppy. He was the leader of our group.
Don't fight nobody. And say the same for this mother earth, which is our rock. You don't study it. What's the soul? So you really got soul. Are you ready? Bump, 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 and bump. Now let's go. How? Don't fight. Rock it, don't stop it. You gotta rock it, don't stop.
This is my man Ralph. We called him Crazy Head because of his style, the way he moves his head around.
Listen. know it's got cool and boogie.
Alright, this is us again. These are other members of General Electric, our crew, Crush City Rockers. The b-boy in there, I would like you to watch his style and the way he rocks. A lot of b-boys don't really know about that. And if you watch him, the way he rocks to the beat is just ill. He's so on rhythm.
The groove and my friends are gonna try to move your feet. You see, I am Wonder Mike and I like to say hello. To the black, to the white, the red and the brown.
Again, that's my man Ralph Crazy Head on the left. You can see he got a lot taller. This is only 3 years later. And the guy with the green in the back behind me on my right is my man Troy Boney Rock. He's the guy that started me off and taught me.
And next on the mic is my man Hank. Come on, Hank, sing that song. Check it out, I'm the CASN, the OVA, and the rest is FLY. You see, I go by the code of the doctor of the mix, and these reasons I'll tell you why. You see, I'm 6'1" and I'm tons of fun, and I dress to a T. You see, I got more clothes than Muhammad Ali, and I dress so viciously. I got bodyguards, I got 2 big cars, I definitely ain't the whack. I got a Lincoln Continental and a sunroof Cadillac. So after school, I take a dip in the pool, which is really on the wall. I got a color TV so I can see the Knicks play basketball. Him and talking about checkbook, credit cards, more money than a sucker could ever spend. But I wouldn't give a sucker or a punk from the rock, not a dime till I made it again. Everybody go, hotel, motel, what you gonna do today? 'Cause I'm gonna get a fly girl, gonna get some spank and drive off in a death OJ. Everybody go, hotel, motel, holiday in. See if your girl starts acting up, then you take her friend. I'm Master G, my mellow is on you, so what you gonna do? Well, it's on and on and on and on and on. The beat don't stop until the break of dawn. I said a M-A-S, a T-E-R, a G with a double E. I said I go by the unforgettable name of the man they call a Master G. Well, my name is known all over the world by all the foxy ladies and the pretty girls. I'm going down in history as the baddest rapper that ever could be. Now I'm feeling the highs and you're feeling the lows. The beat starts getting into your toes. You start popping your fingers and stomping your feet and moving your body while you're sitting and you're sitting. Then damn, they start doing the freak. I said bam, right out of your seat. Then you throw your hands high in the air. You rock it to the rhythm, shake it dairy air. You rock it to the beat without a care. Cruise the show, I shot MCs for the affair. Now I'm not as tall as the rest of the gang, but I rap to the beat just the same. I got a little face and a pair of rhyme eyes. All I'm here to do, ladies, is hypnotize. Sing it on and on and on and on and on. The beat don't stop until the break of dawn. I sing it on and on and on and on and on like a hot but the pop, the pop, the pop, give it, pop, the pop, pop. You don't dare stop or come alive, y'all. Give me what you got.
You know, us poppers in the early days would always wear, of course, it came from Pete and Electric Boogaloos. Over here, we used to call it Electric Boogie, but it wasn't the real name, you know? But that's what we did, deeming it that. They're finding out later on that it's called Electric Boogaloo. Amazing style, but we had our own flavor at the time in the 80s. I was a part of this movie called Crush Groove. It was a great experience. Story about Russell Simmons and Run DMC, Curtis Blow, Sheila E. was an actress in it, so it was cool. New York City Breakers had their own album too in the 80s, and this was one of their joints over here. Everyone was buying that stuff. And this is LA. LA's my man. He was Keith Haring's silent partner. He's also an amazing graffiti writer and artist. I love his work. So I'll have him once in a while come over and do some stuff for me. and not ever having a teacher. But what I did is I got to meet Rerun, and Rerun started connecting my style at the time, and I realized that, man, something about Rerun that he had I didn't have. And I had moves, but he just had a natural way of dancing. He was just funky. So me and my boys, Disco Dave, Specs, you know, all of us, we got together and we started to hang around with Rerun, and Rerun just started schooling me, man, and I just really took hold and grabbed him as my mentor, and I had a million questions for him. So I spent a lot of time with Rerun. Rerun connected me to Don Campbell, and Don also gave me the history of how he started the lockers. This is, of course, graffiti. You know, we love our art in the hood. This is what it's about. We express ourselves this way. I love graffiti. Graffiti is another expression of hip hop that we surround ourselves by. You see it on the streets a lot. The famous Tats crew, and my favorite Zephyr, and all these people. I love watching them. For Cheer 2000, these are the guys I grew up with. But whenever I can get graffiti artists to come on, I'm like, man, do this for me, do that for me, and I have them just do stuff. I'm constantly making them waste their markers on me because I love the expression of it. One day I'm gonna have my apartment full of this stuff.
Hi, I'm talking to BaM BaM, teacher, choreographer, and dancer of, with, and for Soul Majestic. You're a breakdancer.
A breakdancer, I am not. Breakdancing is a word that they used in the 80s. Actually, in the 70s, it's just many dances, but we called it down rocking. In my neighborhood, you were a down rocker.
I've never heard of that.
And we associated with the Brooklyn Up Rockers. So when we used to see them hit the floor, we would hit the floor, but we would just say, okay, we're not up, we're on the bottom, so we're rocking, we're down rocking. You know, there's a lot of styles in the urban neighborhoods. You know, they just say one name and then they stick it all together and they say, oh, it's one name. It's not. It's urban dance. That's the correct title.
Okay.
Now, what style? Now that's different. You know, I pop, I lock, and I can down rock. I like to call it down rocking because my influence comes from watching up rockers, and then they hit the floor.
Okay.
So my attitude comes from that. So I always call it, I'm a down rocker.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about the popping, the locking, and the down rocking?
Okay. All right. Locking is an art form that came out of California from a guy named Don Campbell.
Okay.
And it was out of this dance form here. He couldn't do that, so he locked.
Okay.
And everyone started making fun of him, and they said, oh, look, he locked. Do that lock, Campbell. So they called him Campbell Lock.
Campbell Lock.
And then people would make fun of him, laugh, ha, so he'll point at them. And this is where the points came, do the points. Twisting the hat, slapping the hand, hitting the split. And it went on, and it became style. He had structure without knowing it. He didn't know he created something. He just said, listen, I can't dance. I'm doing this. I'm gonna get funky, right? So this is going on. But before he knew it, everybody was dressed like him. The funky socks.
The style.
He taught Rerun.
Your name, BaM BaM. I need to know where that comes from.
All right, that's a nickname they give me on the street, you know, from popping and my energy. Guys, and why it's really strong. I want to talk to you guys about the Lower East Side. You know, something that was different about us. When I started, I realized that and it didn't take me long to realize this, because where we were located, which was right over the Williamsburg Bridge in Manhattan, near clubs, we would see every style come here. We would see people from the Bronx come up, and they had a certain way of breaking, and we were like, wow, look at that. People from uptown, we'll watch them pop and do their style of popping, and we were like, wow. Then when the Brooklyn Up Rockers would come over the bridge, and they had their style, and they would dress in French cuss, English, old English letters on their t-shirts and stuff like that, and they had a different culture. When they used to battle, if you lose, they would take your t-shirt or whatever colors you were wearing, and they'll burn your shirt right in front of you. And we were like, wow, you know? So that was pretty interesting. And then the B-boys, they were going at it too. But we saw all of these things going on. On the hill, you had Conrad, Chino 3, Carlos, and they had a style of dancing called lofting or garage. And there was a whole other style. And then when DJ would come up to the big park, which is around here, and he'll bring out his equipment, you had all these styles in one circle. So the popper won't battle the popper will battle the breaker will battle the locker will battle the house dancer, and they all would battle each other. You had the Vogers that were from Maswick Towers. They started to dance with Madonna. way before they danced with her, they were already doing this in the parks. And we were like, wow. So for me, I realized that we were surrounded by everything, because where we were located. And what that started to make us be like with dancers, we had to adapt. No matter what came at us, we had to be able to hold our circle. But if you went to the Bronx, you were dominated by breakers. So you stood in the breaking grounds. If you went to Brooklyn, you were surrounded with the Brooklyn Art Rockers, and you had to just stay in the Brooklyn Art Rocking style. But when you came to Manhattan, because of all the clubs, you had the Loft, you had the Underground, you had Garage, which was up here by Canal. You had to be ready for every style of dance. And that's what I realized when I started. It was about 1981. They were filming Wild Style out here, and I got to see the Rocksteady crew. I met a guy named Fable, who I started to really watch because he was incredible at what he did, and he inspired me a lot. And just watching all of these people, Gumby from 10th Street, E.T., Demo, they call him now, and Troy, who taught me. And I was about 12 years old. And I started to, of course I was shy, I was shy. But just seeing Poppy and Crush City Rockers, General Electric, Cena, who owns the Bus Stop Video now, watching these guys rock before me just got me to say, wow, You had Moses and Louis New Wave, and of course, because of us being surrounded this way with all these dancers, it disciplined us to really stay on our game. And out of the hood, of course, with Royal Night Rockers from Pitt Street and the Hill, you had CSO, Capricorn Short 1, Jeff, Fresh Will, and but CSO who taught Float, who Float was who the world credits him as the illest b-boy to walk the planet, came from the Lower East Side. So he's the guy that came out with head spinning on his forehead. He will go into traps and combinations from the head spin. He can combine anything. And I seen him battle very famous crews. You guys gotta go and get those stories. I will not drop any to save people's reputations, but he held it down, man. And people are doing his moves today, what he did 20 years ago. So that's how you know who's bad. And out here, man, we really we enjoyed the dancing. We would dance till 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning until the cops came and stopped the jam. And the styles that were coming out were just incredible to watch. It was incredible just to watch the breaker battle a garage dancer, because it was how are they going to do it? But they had to outdo each other. So it's about your style being better than the next style. So you just had to rely on that music, feel the music, and tear the music up.
Wow.
Real quick, and I like to say he's not black, but he's black, and his name is Jim.
time for a little break, everybody. This is sick. Yeah.
I have a friend named Mr. Wiggles. Wiggles is an amazing person. I know you guys gotta know him. He taught Usher. He was in Limp Bizkit's video. And this guy is just amazing in his skill. And he had these, he never gave up on a dance. He got us all together like in the 80s. We started to just work with him. And he had a vision to do a Broadway show. So eventually it came to flourish, and it was called Jam on the Groove. And his vision came out, and he got Crazy Legs, he got DJ Scribbles, he got all these famous people. This is DJ Scribble, Crazy Legs, Quick Step, Ken Swift, who's the sick b-boy with skill, you know? And just being around all these professionals, that's me right there. Being around all of these people was such a turning point in my life, because I got to see all these other coaches from other boroughs. Because one thing about New York City is a borough, each borough is a different country, a different dialect, a different style. And to learn these origins is kept empowering me with knowledge. And this was the first hip hop musical in 1995. And this is the reason why breakdancing, what they call breakdancing, we call b-boying, came back. And you got the movies like You Got Served and all of that stuff. That's called The Old Man. That's called Tuts right there. Isolating everything one at a time. And then just doing tricks with your waves and stuff. Okay, study this over and over. Your first lesson. Dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again, try again. 'Cause if at first you don't succeed, you can dust it off and try again. Dust yourself off and try again, try again, try again. Before we connected to a face and a style, we connected to Soul Train. And the reason why is because Soul Train was the only black show on television. There wasn't cable, there was no HBO obviously in 1971. And when Soul Train appeared, there were people doing trendy dances. They were doing the funky chicken, which was this dance here. And they were doing the boogaloo and all these other dances. But there was this one guy named Don Campbell, and after speaking to Don was like, "BaM, I couldn't dance anything trendy. I didn't know how to dance." I'm like, "Man, you're like that one black dude that can't dance." He goes, "Man, I did my own thing." And what was it you were doing? He goes, "I couldn't get the funky chicken." He couldn't get this. And I was like, wow. So what he would do was just go like this. And everyone else around him on Soul Train, or not on Soul Train rather, everyone is around the campus, the college that he went to, and the people he was surrounded were making fun of him. But after a while, he would point at the people that make fun of him. He'll point, twist his hat, slap his hand, and he'll just keep freezing in this position. And that's how it started to become known as locking, because he would lock right into place. Hit a split, slide on his knees, and he was basically freestyling. But he started putting his heart out there, and he made it funky. But his dance took a form. Others started to watch him, and he started to watch others. And they started learning what he was doing. And the birth of this dance became known as Campbell locking, or locking, short term. And when he got on Soul Train, he was just using and dancing this dance that he danced, but it made everyone else around him attract to him. But man, before he even knew it, he was touring, with Soul Train. He was going around, and once he started to realize everyone was looking like him, they wore the socks with the stripes like he did up to the knees. They had knickers. I don't have them now, but I got them on in this picture over here. Yeah. Got him on in his picture, learning that from them with the striped socks and the funky hats. And that's Don Campbell right there. And he started a whole new way of looking at dance. And that was the birth of hip-hop. He changed the way we would dance forever. He started saying, hey, this is me. You take what you got and you express yourself. And that became our ideal to what hip-hop was. He was the first ghetto celebrity. We watched him and his group go mainstream. They became celebrity. They were on Carol Burnett, Johnny Carson. They danced with Frank Sinatra. They taught people like Danny Terrio, who taught John Travolta in the movie Saturday Night Fever. So these guys were just all over the place. One of them would do the robot, and we would watch him just do this robot. But the robot was just funky because now it was to music. So, you know, they would just dance and have this whole thing happening now. But we were watching TV like this, and we couldn't see it, wait to see it again because we had no VCRs. So every week we watching Socha and say, man, come back, dance like that again. And that was our only connection. Years later, you know, Rerun left the group because Rerun was a part of the Lockers. He auditioned for What's Happening and got the part. He left, and occasionally the Lockers would show up as the Rockets. And that's really where I started to catch on to this culture. That was great back then. But from this one group, many birthed. You had the Electric Boogaloos, you had Chain Reaction, LA City Rockers, then on the East Coast, the Brooklyn Up Rockers were doing it, the gangs, they were just doing a whole different stand, but this inspiration to be yourself started to grow. And and inspiration from many different places. James Brown, of course, James Brown, the godfather of soul. We were watching him do his splits, and he was just burning everyone. You know, obviously from Don watching James Brown, but many things started all over the place, and it was somewhere around 80s or late 70s that us Latinos started to just really develop a style. We started putting breaking on our backs. You know, we started throwing it on our backs, and we started just doing something different, adding more to the back. But it just, you know, it's all influence, and we all started to learn from each other. So hip hop is if I was to say what hip hop is to the new school, you have to learn the style from wherever you're being inspired by. You have to learn your history like any other culture and art form. Any Alvin Ailey dancer would tell you their history. Any tap dancer would tell you their history. If you're going to be a b-boy, a popper, or a locker, you have to know. You have to know your history, otherwise you won't know where you're going. You won't know where these rules came from, the techniques and these things that you need to dance with, the music, the culture, the clothing. And then, when you learn that, you got to learn how to put yourself and develop your own style. Because without you having your own style, then it means nothing.
I'll say it anyway. Never once had a lady. She was so fly. She was my girl and I was her guy. Now I love that girl with all my heart. But little by little she was tearing apart. I'm talking $10 here, $100 there. She wasn't ashamed. She asked me anywhere. She was one of those people.
Dancers now, they jump, they got all these amazing tricks, and they'll call me to judge the contest. And when I do judge a contest, some get mad, but I say it in love, and I try to find the right words. When you're jumping and doing tricks, it doesn't mean you're a dancer just because the music is playing. It means you have great tricks. You have to be able to dance. If you have to challenge yourself, take all your tricks and don't do any at all, and just do the foundations of that dance. Do the dance. And how long can you dance? And that's when you know if you're a dancer or not. But if you need your tricks, you're not a dancer yet. You have to be able to move. And I learned this from the Boogaloos. I learned it from Paul, from Chain Reaction, and Don Campbell and Rerun. They would take away my tricks and say, Ben, now let me see you lock, or let me see you pop without the tricks. And it got me stuck for a while, but it taught me how to flow, just like a rapper who freestyles. And that's important. That's going to make you a dancer. And finding yourself in it, developing your confidence. You have to dance until you believe it. You do graffiti until you believe it. You rap until you believe it. Anything you do it until you believe it. And then someone else is going to believe it. And that's where it is.
Five soul. Back in the day. Turn around the flag. Yeah, back in the day. Back in the day. Man, y'all know who got next one. Back in the day. Here we go.
I see the people searching, looking for peace. I see some become happy, but only for a little while. Some form religion, some form church, chanting, meditation, group finds God. The Bible says that Satan, which means liar, is an angel of light. If he was to manifest himself in front of us, what would we do?
can't stop dancing because it's in my heart and I practice with my heart. And when they dance new school now, old school, I'm just able to go through things. And sometimes I even do it to slow music. And I have a piece now in the theater show with Darren where I'm doing it as Charlie Chaplin to the song Gone by Justin Timberlake. And it's awesome. It just shows where things are going. And to be able to work with many different people like Darren Henson is a great honor. And it's always a learning experience. When you grab a hold of it and when you start getting inspired by it, then we have a whole new thing. And every one person that takes it on is going to develop something new because you're new. There's nobody like you. And when you start to bring out the way you feel, us guys are going to look at you and say, wow, it's amazing. So we can't stop until you take over. So I'm waiting for you, man. I'm waiting for you guys to come.
It's the New York City breaker.
New York, New York, New York, New York. Yeah, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York. That's right, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York. Yeah, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York. That's right.
Established in '83, came on the scene like stars from the streets to the balcony seats, and across arenas causing the deaf to hear. Boombox be bumping their ears. New York City, style unique, station lonelier or concrete. We got the soul that rocks the body. Hip hop made for all. We at the party. We bring the mass appeal to the clothes. B-boy flavor, head to toe. Diamonds, platinum, silver, and gold. And at the battles, we take it all. We're the next generation in, like the kings and the next of kin. We burn the floor, setting it off. Got the crowd gasping for more. New York City breakers, yo.
It's the New York City breaker. It's the New York City breaker. It's the New York City breaker. Put on my shoes, gonna get you in the mood. The things I do make your body wanna move. Make you glide, make you slide. Wanna take you on a ride. And your people know I
rock and dance, move and groove. I'm feeling super fly, make me wanna sing the blues. New York City breakers, do what you wanna do. The New York City breakers, with us you cannot lose.
New York City, New York City. We came here to rock you.